agent was very aggressive in his pat down, and he was patting me down where no one's supposed to go, and it got very uncomfortable, so I moved his hand away.
In an interview last week with the I-Team, Canseco said he felt the agent assaulted him, and then a week later at the airport, he says he was targeted. Watch the video. As Canseco steps through the metal detector, a TSA agent immediately confronts him.
I did not see it as a coincidence, and I asked him, why are you going to tap me down again? So we discussed that further.
This discussion lasted 9 minutes. The congressman was then patted down and left to catch his flight.
That's enough. The point is, Ron Paul's described it, Jesse Ventura's described it. I've seen it done to men and women. They, with pressure, grab your genitals and squeeze them to see what they are. And they get off on it, folks. They always have people that are the supervisors who enjoy it, and they enjoy the sexual assault under law. The cop randomly walked up to you and said, I got to make sure you don't have a gun in your pants, and wanted to grab your testicles or a woman's genitals. It would be sexual assault. It's a felony. But now the TSA is saying they can give police a training seminar, and that makes it legal. No judge, no jury. Obama can launch wars because he says it's legal, even though it's not. He can have illegal surveillance because he says so. So if you're a radio listener and want to see that video, it's embedded at Infowars.com in Steve Watson's article. And that's why Texas, I had so many state reps on, including the sponsor of the bill that unanimously passed the House to start prosecuting TSA, because he said they would grab his children away and start groping. I mean, it's horrifying. And they say, stand back! And the kids cry, they're like, ha-ha, it's fun time. And you've seen the video where they pull the kids' shirts and pants off? And people are crying and screaming, and rape victims are having their genitals grabbed, and the TSA starts having them arrested if they cry, and old ladies are forced out of wheelchairs. This is what America's become in the name of some fake underwear bomber. Now they've got a new fake one I'm going to get to later. So it's just incredible. And then Texas said, we're not going to allow that, and the Fed said, we'll have an armed blockade. The Air Force is standing by. Okay, go ahead and have an armed blockade. I mean, that's the crook level of the government we've got. Here's another one. Again, only eyewitness to Breitbart's death disappears. Paul Joseph Watson, forensic technician, died from suspected arsenic poisoning last month. So witnesses are disappearing. Maybe he'll be found dead. It's like, oh, no big deal. The one witness is, gone now. Reddit founder slams Facebook support for CISPA. Well, the head of Facebook calls his users dumb effers. He goes, these dumb effers, trust me. They're such idiots. It's so much fun. These dumb idiots believe the coroner died and the witnesses are disappearing. So funny. So that's just some of the news we're going to be getting into in more detail. But back to the mafia government. The Chicago Way, justice for sale. And Breitbart Media has confirmed reports that came out months ago that whenever these big firms get in trouble, they go to the Attorney General's law firm with him and his buddies and pay in this revolving door for all of these different lawyers to represent them, and then all the charges get dropped. So you go pay just hundreds of thousands of dollars to these lawyers apiece, and everything is fine. And it is the Chicago way. It goes on, Holder and the Department of Justice are operating under a justice for sale strategy by foregoing criminal prosecution of Wall Street executives at big financial institutions who just so happen to be clients of the white shoe law firm that Holder and his top DOJ lieutenants work for and own stock in and make money off of, or that is own positions in. Investigative report reveals that Eric Holder has not criminally charged or prosecuted a single top executive from any of the elite financial institutions thought responsible for the financial crash, and why would they? And it goes on. Through last fall, Obama had collected more donations from Wall Street than any other Republican candidate. Employees of Bain Capital donated more than twice as much to Obama as they did to Romney, who founded the firm. Oh, see, you either get Obama or you get the other Bain Capital people. Collecting millions from Wall Street was hardly the plan Obama and Holder telegraphed upon entering office. And then the article just gets off into, the payoffs that way. But what about the law firm payoffs? And then it continues here. Here's the Daily Caller. Issa to Holder. You can still avoid contempt if you give up fast and furious documents. Well, what did Holder do back in January of this year? I told you he'd do this. He said, Bush was involved in a similar gun running program under the last Justice Department. You better leave me alone. And so they're still just trying to score political points. I want to see him in contempt. And the media keeps going, did he know? They were on record a year before it came out bragging about gun running projects they were doing to track guns. So they're caught lying about it. They gave press conferences. I've played the clips of Janet Napolitano and Holder on TV a year before this stuff broke a year and a half ago. So this is 2.5 years ago, giving press conferences about the gun running programs they had to track guns and how they needed to restrict the Second Amendment because of what the evidence had found. There's no question they perjured themselves. There's no question John Corzine perjured himself in the MF Global. And Terrence Duffy, the head of the CME group's gone public. His own executives have gone public. They don't want to lie to Congress. Billions of dollars were taken. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions not given back. Given to J.P. Morgan Chase in London, and they lied about it. And the government says we don't know where the money was wired when it was in Forbes 2 days after it happened that it was wired to J.P. Morgan Chase in London. It's in the newspaper where the money went. The feds know when you wire $100 where it goes in real time. Of course they know where $2 billion went. Of course they knew the dust at the World Trade Center was deadly. Of course they know DU's deadly for our troops. Top scientists worldwide are saying 85 Chernobyls if reactor 4 collapses. It's already melting down. 85. I cannot stress to you the magnitude of that crisis. Doesn't matter. Our government and media will just say it's good for us. They already did when the different radioactive isotope levels went off the chart. That's what I mean. These people are crazy. They're in there just stealing everything. They don't even care about the future. The globalists are delusional and think they're going to get nanotech and life extension and they're in control. And they've got bunkers, so it's okay. No, it's not okay. You people are wrecking everything. All right, I'm going to go to your phone calls. I'm ranting here. That's just some of the news. And I haven't even gotten into the new fake underwear bomber. Hey, but, last time, yeah, we've actually got those reports from Natural News, but it's also the Japanese news. The Japanese news has the 85 Chernobyls. That's actually out of the major, what is it, the Tokyo daily newspaper has that. If you want to look that up. Yeah, there it is. Fukushima Daiichi site. Cesium-137 is 85 times greater than at Chernobyl accident. Yeah, no. That's the fact that it's much higher already in the area and blowing over here. No. There's reports that if reactor 4 goes, it will be 85 times conservatively the amount of radiation put out by Chernobyl. See, a nuclear weapon doesn't put off that much radiation. It dissipates. Its reactors melting down are like mega dirty bombs. But they've got everybody scared that Al-Qaeda might, Al-Qaeda might go get some hospital x-ray equipment and blow it up and shoot some radiation around a neighborhood at low levels. And, oh my gosh, we better give all our rights up. Meanwhile, all the wind from Japan blows right over, and the trade winds and the jet stream above it, right over the United States, Canada, and northern Mexico. And the radiation levels have gone up. It's on record. It's been in news all over the country, in milk, in cabbage, in water supplies, in some cases hundreds of times what they say is safe. And their answer is it's just fine. Again, this is the craziness of the ruling elite. They should be encasing that in concrete. They should be, in the year they've had huge pumps of fresh water going in there. Instead, they just keep letting it sizzle and melt down. Of 6 reactors, 3 of them are still partially melting down. 2 of them are sizzling. 1 of them is not in trouble, thank God. There it is, Fukushima reactor number 4. Vulnerable to catastrophic collapse, could unleash 85 times the radiation of Chernobyl. Human civilization on the brink. Yeah, that's the proper headline. And which publication is that? If you're a radio listener and you hear me going back and forth. Yeah, that's Pack Alert. Good folks. They're experts on radiation. Okay. I want to go to your phone calls here. We've got a guest coming up. But I'm going to also later get into this new underwear bomb thing. This is just like Bin Laden. No, he's in the ocean. Well, this one they don't know where he is or who he is. There's some underwear with a firecracker. Land of the free, home of the brave just falls on its knees and says, take all my rights. Firecrackers. I mean, the American people, the system wants us to be like 2-year-old scared children of a thunderstorm. I mean, this is pathetic. Let's go ahead and talk to Sean in Tennessee, listening on WJOC 1490. Go ahead, you're on the air, Sean.
I was just wanting to tell you, first of all, I was glad to hear from Charlie Daniels that other day when you interviewed him. I'm just glad to know there's still a few good people in Tennessee left over, because he's absolutely right. Agenda 21 has taken over nearly everywhere, including here in Chattanooga.
Well, you know, I'm going to be driving through Knoxville, where I've been on the air for 12 years on a local affiliate there. But I was telling them I might want to stop and do an event, but people are all want to do some big day-long thing. I can stop in Knoxville for like 2.5 hours and give a speech. So folks need to contact that local station and Mr. Grothjohn and tell them a location for me to give a speech if folks want to have that happen. What else is on your mind?
Sometime, man.
Do what, sir?
You come to Chattanooga?
You know, I don't have time. The problem is I'm driving to Bilderberg. I don't want everybody to be there who can be there on the 31st through the 3rd there in Virginia to expose those guys. And so I want to invite everybody to meet me there, but I will be driving right through Knoxville, so I thought, why not speak there? But it's probably not going to happen, just because I don't even have the team or logistics, and I just can't even get anything done. But we'll see what happens. All
right. Well, it's one other thing, if you didn't mind. I've noticed you often refer to that book, Rise and Fall of the Third Reich by William L. Scherer, you know?
Yes.
I have that book. And I've enjoyed reading a lot of it. I'm learning a lot of how it's so similar to what we live in now for these times.
Stay there. I want you to finish that point when we come back. Then we'll go to Chris, Terry, Julio, Cisco, and others, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to see everybody there. It's on. It is at the Chantilly Marriott. Everybody needs to be there. I'm going to be there protesting them and covering it for 3 days, making the whore media cover it. We'll be right back. Infowars.com. Sick of the globalist eugenicists. I know I'm excited and get wound up here on air because there's so much news and so little time to cover it, and calls and guests and everything else. But the Attorney General's been caught lying to Congress about weapon sales and shipping guns and hand grenades to Mexico. You don't get those at gun shops. They've been caught being paid off through law firms that the Justice Department people make money out of in a revolving door, so they won't prosecute people like Corzine. Corzine has all of his former employees in every regulatory position at the different commissions. I mean, they're criminals. And they're the ones getting rid of the Bill of Rights and Constitution. They're the ones telling Congress they're not over war now. It's ridiculous. And if they get away with this, it'll be just like every other tyranny. They're going to go all the way. I and start groping. I mean, it's horrifying. And they say, stand back. And the kids cry. They're like, ha-ha, it's fun time. And you've seen the video where they pull the kids' shirts and pants off. And people are crying and screaming. And rape victims are having their genitals grabbed. And the TSA starts having them arrested if they cry. And old ladies are forced out of wheelchairs. This is what America's become in the name of some fake underwear bomber. Now they've got a new fake one seminar, and that makes it legal. No judge, no jury. Obama can launch wars because he says it's legal, even though it's not. He can have illegal surveillance because he says so. So if you're a radio listener and want to see that video, it's embedded at Infowars.com in Steve Watson's article. And that's why Texas, I had so many state reps on, including the sponsor of the bill that unanimously passed the House to start prosecuting TSA, because he said they would grab his children of them to see what they are. And they get off on it, folks. They always have people that are the supervisors who enjoy it, and they enjoy the sexual assault under law. The cop randomly walked up to you and said, I got to make sure you don't have a gun in your pants, and wanted to grab your testicles or a woman's genitals. It would be sexual assault. It's a felony. But now the TSA is saying they can give police a training.
The agent was very aggressive in his pat down, and he was patting me down where no one's supposed to go, and it got very uncomfortable, so I moved his hand away.
In an interview last week with the I-Team, Canseco said he felt the agent insulted him, and then a week later at the airport, he says he was targeted. Watch the video. As Canseco steps through the metal detector, a TSA agent immediately confronts him.
I did not see it as a coincidence, and I asked him, why are you going to tap me down again? So we discussed that further.
This discussion lasted 9 minutes. The congressman was patted down and left to catch his flight.
That's enough. The point is, Ron Paul's described it, Jesse Ventura's described it. I've seen it done to men and women. They, with pressure, grab your genitals and squeeze